Hey everybody, welcome to Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host Frank Holder. I'm here with the comedians known as Talent and Fig. These comics have been in the game for a long time, from films, film festivals, to commercials, to traveling the world doing comedy, even doing military bases and all that stuff. Now they're doing a sports comedy talk show where we get to have some fun. First and foremost, guys, how was your weekend?
I think my weekend was better than Fig's.
Lies! Lies, all lies. My weekend was lovely. My wife likes me.
Yo, I lost all respect for your wife. She's still lying, huh?
She lies to me, and she lies well enough to make me believe it. So I'm good.
Yeah,
there you go.
Most women do.
Let's get ready to jump into this story, man. Let's get ready to go into this show. For the COVID report, the first thing I wanted to say is I don't know if you guys caught this over the weekend, but over the weekend, VCU was supposed to play Oregon, and VCU had to forfeit the game. Now, we're talking about the NCAA tournament. VCU had to forfeit the game and let Oregon move forward because they had multiple tests of COVID, and that had them obviously bail out. Now, the scary thing about this is, as we've discussed this before, we discussed this way back when the Super Bowl happened, is what happens if a team gets something and they got to pull out? Like, how fair and fairness is that? So, you know, that's the world we're living in. I mean, I feel sorry for these dudes. I feel sorry for all the kids who finally, you know, you guys, you know how it is. You finally make it to a NCAA tournament, and then all of a sudden you got to forfeit. You got to forfeit.
Our worst fears are confirmed, and it's happening in the thick of things in the tournament. And here's the thing, man, tournament's still going on. So we could, you know, how many times we go to bed, Frank, we lay down, we got one story, we wake up in 24 hours, a whole nother story in ballgame. So the tournament's still going on, bro. We don't know. Have we seen the last team drop out?
Yeah.
Is there another team around the corner? Is COVID done affecting college basketball? I don't know.
And the scary thing is about this is they all are in a bubble. They're in Indianapolis, and some kids are still catching COVID. I hate to say this, but the worst thing is to me is if they're in the Final Four and one team has to pull out, you know what I mean? Because they had, hey, you got COVID, you can't make it. Fig, what's your thoughts?
So stupid.
Yo, man, you got to use another word other than pull out. That's all I'm trying to say, Frank. We got to try something else. They had a change of plans. But anyway, listen, man. Like in everything else, this is America. The show must go on. We will go on without you. It's like in Trading Places when Duke and Duke was on the trading floor, and the guy looked at him. He said, "I think your brother has COVID," and the brother looked at him and was like, "Forget him. Let's turn those machines back on because we need to make this money." And that's basically how it is with the NCAA tournament. If you have to disqualify yourself because of COVID, we are moving on without you.
I listen. I think it absolutely sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when Northeastern was in it, you know what I mean? Finally, and the work that Northeastern, when I was in college, the work that you had to put in just to make the tournament and all that, it's a lot of work. And then the extra practices and all that happens with that. And then you get word of, the day before the game that, you know what? Your game got forfeit. I think it's an asterisk season. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if you win or you don't win. I think it's an asterisk season for the NCAA tournament. That's what I thought.
It's horrible, man. It's like I'm gonna take a page out of Talent's book. It's like when you've been dating this girl, man, and you know you've been going to dinners and stuff like that. And tonight's the night. You stop by the gas station and you pick up the magic potion and you get to the house and she be like, "It's not going down tonight."
All right, let me ask you all this since we talk about the NCAA tournament. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see this, but I watched a little bit of the tournament. There's a college by the name of Oral Roberts that they're continuing to advance. They first upset OSU, then they beat Florida. They are the second 15th seed to ever reach the Sweet 16. Now, again, this is an asterisk season, I was saying, because the seeding was all messed up because of COVID. All the teams really couldn't play like all their proper games to be totally say, okay, this seed is supposed to be here. It's all messed up. So is it, again, that's my statement. I'm gonna throw it to you now. Do you think this is an asterisk season? And are you surprised with a team by the name of Oral Roberts is in the Sweet 16? Second team ever.
Oral Roberts. That's a funny name. That's a funny name. Sounds like I don't know, like a good country club. We're gonna be playing golf at Oral Roberts. No, I agree with you. It's got to be considered that. What's funny is, how people was talking about what the last NBA season going to be asterisk too, and half the people's like, yeah, it's a bubble. Half the people's like, no. I think the difference is what we're seeing right now. I think when you get a season where teams are calling off games or dropping out of the tournament, now that's worthy of an asterisk, because now you got too much coulda, woulda, shoulda. What if so-and-so stayed in the bracket because they match up better with this one or that one? I think now this earns the right of an asterisk season, more opposed to what the NBA had, because the NBA, all the teams played. They even let a couple of extra teams in a playoff thing for to get to the playoffs, and all the teams played, and the best team won, no matter what. This right here, totally different ballgame.
Yeah, but the teams can't play because they get forfeit. You're absolutely right. So you sit there and say, well, if they matched up better with this team, they could have knocked them out. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just my thought. I'm kind of thinking it's a shaky thing. What you think, Fig?
I think in a one-game series, man, it's anybody's game and anybody can win, a one-off. But when teams have to bow out because of COVID or whatever, it's sad, because it's sad for the students, because a lot of them are there, for that 1 year. A lot of them are not going to be there 2, 3, 4. Very rarely a player will stay till his senior or junior year. They're usually one and done. And this is your opportunity to showcase. And if you can't showcase because of COVID concerns, is really sad, and it makes it hard on the student athlete. You're talking about Oral Roberts University. I'd like to take it back a little further, and I'd like to talk to his parents. Who names their son Oral?
That's the name of the school, but okay.
Yeah, but it comes from Oral Roberts. It's named after Oral Roberts, a person. I wouldn't name my son Oral unless I don't like him. Oral?
Okay. All right, I'll give you that. I want to move on because, this morning, we were talking about Deshaun Watson Thursday. We talked about him Wednesday. We talked about him Thursday. We talked about Friday. This morning, I woke up. There's an official lawsuit that moved on. A couple more people joined the lawsuit, but now the police are involved. Since now the police are involved, because the criminal investigation is now coming on, I'm going to ask you, here's the crime. The crime is it's one sexual lawsuit, basically because he exposed himself and he basically supposedly forced a woman to touch her vagina and a couple of other body parts and things like that. That's the criminal investigation talent. Still sound fishy to you? What you think?
Yeah. And how many? I got to see how many counts it is. It sounds a little fishy that he forced, her. Now, and is this, which woman is this? Is this the woman the masseuse? You know what I mean? So I'm going to dive into this story and follow this heavily, because I want to know who's saying what and who the charges are brought up against. Even though you have a slew of women saying, "Oh yeah, he harassed me," he sexually abused, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of little parameters in there. I want to see who is saying what was done, because it's up to 12 women now.
Yeah, 12 women plus one criminal investigation. So yeah.
Yeah, so I want to see what's really going on, because it just sounds like a lot of calamities going on. And once you find out that these women are all under the guise of this lawyer, who happens to be the neighbor of the owner of the Texans, the whole thing's fishy to me, man.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, I'm sick and tired of talking about this Deshaun Watson thing, because he was getting a masseuse, right? And you're supposed to be naked. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's supposed to be naked anyway, but he exposed himself. I mean, he could have stood up and the towel could have fell off. I mean, he could have did a lot of different things. You know what I mean? It's certain. it's just a whole lot of gray area, in my opinion. What you think?
Yeah.
Man, 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 20. Well, I mean, if we're gonna exaggerate it, let's go for 100. We can find 100 women that massage Deshaun Watson. Let's find 200. That would make it more believable. I mean, it's in Texas. It's got to be 200 women that gave him a massage. I mean, why not go for all of them? Because I'm sure that there were at least 100 to 200 women that he had massages from. I mean, if who was it? If Wilt Chamberlain said that he had sex with over 1,000 women, then surely at least 200 women massage Deshaun Watson, and then he exposed himself to them, and they have to bring charges, because it's Texas, so you got to bring charges. So yeah, man, let's just go for it. Let's just make it outlandish. I would say let's go for 500, and this way everybody will be believable, and we can just put this whole thing to rest. We can put them under the jail and just keep them in Texas.
And here's my thing with this thing too. We got to keep in mind, if they are really masseuses, right? Why is there so many different ones? If it's a real masseuse, I find a good one. I had a masseuse back when I was playing ball on the regular. I had that girl who was specialized in the sports massage every Monday, because Monday I'm going to play, and every Monday that elbow's in that thigh and that bone and breaking you all up and everything. But I didn't have a different masseuse every Monday. It was the same person because she got the job done. She was a good masseuse. If you get nobody's dipping around with 100 masseuses unless they maybe not masseuses.
Hey, listen. And he found them on social media. These are social media masseuses. These are that's how he located them. He found them. He found them on social media. So that's usually, if you want a good masseuse, go to social media, because that's where you can find the best of them.
That's where all my young friends find their girlfriends. Social media.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Let's talk about the rest of the stuff in the NFL. I know you guys like this part, especially you Giants fans. I know you Giants fan like this because I'm talking to you Giants fans now. Actually, one real Giants fan and one Jets fan. But anyway, Kenny Golladay signed with the Giants, and this is right after Kyle Rudolph from Minnesota signed last week. We all know Daniel Jones is the QB. Kenny Golladay signed for 4 years, $72 million. I'm thinking right now, Daniel Jones now has 2 good targets. The Giants they should do pretty well. The thought and the conversation now is people are starting to pick them to win the NFC East. Talent, do you see the Giants winning the NFC East?
Man, I see any average JV team could win the NFC East. I think people are picking them because they're looking at last year's fiasco. That was a fiasco. Come on, man. This is one of the toughest, historically wise, one of the toughest divisions over years, over decades. And then all of a sudden, last season, everybody's looking at this thing like, are you kidding me? Everybody got 5-6 wins and they're going to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was horrible. So I think judging off of last season, that's why people were picking them. Looking at the pickup, looking how they gained momentum towards the end, because everybody who watched knew that the Giants really should have been in the playoffs. But I believe it was the Eagles took a day off.
Yeah, I think it was, if I can remember correctly, the Eagles won one game they shouldn't have won. Oh, it was Jalen Hurts came in and won a couple of games and brought them. Yeah, I remember that's what happened. Yeah. Fig, I know you're a big New Yorker fan. I'm going to still ask you the same thing. Realistically, do you think the Giants are going to come in and win the NFC East now that they added themselves Kyle Rudolph from tight end, and now they also got Kenny Golladay, one of the best wide receivers out there right now? Do you think the Giants look good, like they could win the NFC East realistically?
Realistically, yeah, because the Giants' defense was really good, and the Giants has always been a really good, when they were winning, they always had a really good defense. And the fact that the defense was good and they all come back healthy, and then you boost up the offensive side of the ball, I think they should be better. And according to the way everybody played last year, it seems like the Giants have made significant steps to be able to win the NFC East. So, but Dallas is always going to be in there, and then Jalen Hurts. We'll see what he does with the Eagles. The Washington football team seems to have gotten better. So the NFC East overall has gotten better.
I will say this. I think people keep overlooking Washington, but now that Washington got Fitzpatrick, you know what I mean? With that, if he brings that Fitzpatrick magic down to Washington, you never know. You never know. I ain't scared of him. All right, let me just mention this to you guys this morning. I got the news that Joe Flacco is visiting with the Eagles and is looking like he's going to sign because he's still there. He's been there all day. They're talking about negotiating stuff like that. If he signs with the Eagles, he'll be backing up Jalen Hurts. Now, we all know Joe Flacco's history. We know he's been a pretty good quarterback overall. He got a Super Bowl under his wing. Do you think he's a good addition, or should the Eagles bring back Nick Foles like everybody's talking about right now? What do you think, Talent?
Well, I mean, if we're talking backup, I like Flacco backing up anybody. He's the top crop of backups. Nick Foles to me is a starter. Nick Foles went in that situation before. Wentz went down. Foles got up. Boom. Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Philly turned around, make the biggest mistake of their front office career by saying, we're going to go back to Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
From whence he came. That's where he went back to. Now he's not even on the team. So I'm telling you right now, I like Foles coming back, but is Foles going to get a chance to battle for that starting position? That's the only way you come back. But if you're looking at backups, I think Flacco's at the top of the list.
I think Flacco is a great backup. Depending if he gives him 80% of what he used to have, he's a pretty good backup. If Jalen Hurts is going to surprise a lot of people how good he's going to do this year. But that's my opinion. It's just an opinion. Fig, what you think? Do you think Joe Flacco is going to be a good backup, or do you think the Eagles should go down the route of bringing back Nick Foles, like everybody's talking about? Nick Foles might actually come back to the Eagles and back up Jalen Hurts.
I think the problem is with the Eagles organization is I'm not sure they're sold on Jalen Hurts overall. And if you bring in somebody where they have to battle for that position, I think it could cause a quarterback controversy, and you don't give this kid an opportunity to play his way through problems. If he always has somebody on his shoulder, you know what I mean, getting ready to take his spot, it could be, it could be mentally difficult for him to be able to galvanize the team and get the team to back him. And then, in Philadelphia, they ain't no joke. Them fans ain't no joke, man. I'm like, listen, this guy makes a couple mistakes. They're gonna be calling for Flacco. I mean Flacco, not Fluco, Flacco. They're gonna be calling for him to take Jalen's spot. And Jalen is black and Flacco is not. So that could be a problem in Philly.
Okay.
Who do you think is a better quarterback, Flacco or Fluco?
Flacco is way better than Fluco.
Their numbers are very close.
It's true.
Y'all really
Fluco is the one that they want to get rid of, and Flacco is the one that they want to keep.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. The Rams, now this morning, I saw the news that the Rams added Deshaun Jackson to be there with Matt Stafford at the QB. Now, I think if they had kept Brandon Cooks and had Deshaun Jackson, because the Rams, let's look at this. The Rams traded Brandon Cooks to Houston, and then they got Deshaun Jackson. To me, the receiving core got worse because Brandon Cooks is better. Deshaun Jackson's older, slightly slower. But if they had kept, I'm thinking if they had kept Brandon Cooks on one side and Deshaun Jackson on the other side with the new QB, and they only a couple years out of the Super Bowl, the Rams could have surprised a whole lot of people in the NFC. But that's my opinion. So now that Deshaun Jackson, what you think?
That's a good opinion. That's an accurate opinion. You want to see when it comes to people to throw the ball to, man. You got to have at least the 1-2 punch.
Right.
You can have a mediocre or slightly better than average tight end catching the ball, a good back coming out the back catching low, screen passes and stuff like that, dumps and tosses. But you got to have a 1-2 punch. So, like you said, you just got rid of one and got another. That was some weird shopping. Then you bought a jacket. You bought a jacket from Filene's basement, and then you took it back and swapped it out for a windbreaker from Bed Bath & Beyond. That was stupid. That was stupid. You did like this, and like you said, you lost a step. I think you need a 1-2 punch at that receiving core. So I don't know. I think they're stagnated.
Yeah, I think so too. Fig, what you think?
His basement is closed. Yeah, Filene's. I don't think Filene's is open anymore. I used to like Filene's in the basement, man. They used to have some good deals. But anyway, listen. My only problem with Deshaun Watson is his ability to stay healthy. If this kid can stay healthy, I think he's box office, man. I think he could take the top off as far as receiving is concerned, and he will become a problem. You know what I mean? He's not. You just not gonna put any DB on him. You know what I mean? Safety's got to watch him because at any given time, if he's healthy, he has the ability to take the top off and break one, hit his head on the goalpost, as they say. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to watch out for Deshaun, man.
I think so too, but I'm going to ask you both. I'm going to see what you guys think. Are the Rams as good as advertised? Should we be looking at them and saying, yeah, the Rams is going to do something this year, or is everybody just jumping on the bandwagon because they got Matt Stafford? I mean, what's your thoughts, Alan? I mean, are you? I'm not really too. I mean, not yet. I want to see him play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so yet. I think that they need something else. I think they're, like I said, stagnant. They're sitting still at this plateau level. And just a couple of seasons ago, they were like, boom. And now it's like this plateau. They plateaued out. I think they need to add something else. Not quite sure what it is. These things come into fruition when you actually get on the field and go, you know what we need? You know what I mean? So Right now, I'm with you. I don't think it's as good as advertised.
I don't think so either. Right now, Fig, what do you think? Are we being oversold on the Rams right now?
I'm not so sure, man. I think the Rams had a potential to do something. You know, they still have their core pretty much intact. You know, the coach over there is formidable, man. He calls great plays. I mean, if they get a couple of breaks, the Rams is in the playoffs, man. You know what I mean? It's just a couple of breaks. They only in football, you need a little luck to be able to get things done. You know what I mean? Basically, if your team can stay healthy and can come together at certain points during the season, you got the potential of really being able to do it, especially if you have playmakers on your team. And the Rams have playmakers. And Matt Stafford is definitely an upgrade from last year. So, I mean, they have potential. I mean, I'm not putting them over everybody else right now, but I wouldn't count them out either. So I'd say they're middle of the road right now, depending on how the ball bounces.
So speaking of putting people out and where the ball bounces, which is a good analogy, where's the ball going to bounce for the Dallas Cowboys this year? Because I haven't seen them make any additions, that's noteworthy. I haven't seen them do anything that's really noteworthy except bringing back Dak Prescott. And I'm going to say this. They setting Dak up to be a lousy, to be in a lousy football team, unless they make some changes. Because right now, we all know their defense was horrible last year. Horrible. Their offensive line was horrible. The only thing that was consistently good for them was their running back. And then, of course, Zeke got hurt with somewhat of it seemed horrible. I don't see them doing anything. Talent, when I'm bringing up a question to you about Dallas Cowboys, are you impressed with everything that's going on over there? Do you think they're going to be better than they were last year, or same, or not worse?
No, I think again, the word I use is stagnation. I think we're still stuck in a plateau with Dallas Cowboys until they make some major defensive moves. Like you said, the defense sucked, but a lot of these teams get caught up in the Aaron Rodgers syndrome, meaning if we can have a high-powered quarterback and score our way to cover a facade that we don't have a good defense. If you got somebody who can put points up like NBA basketball points in the game, you can cover up your defense ain't that great. That's what Aaron Rodgers does every year. They don't have no stellar defense, the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is just that offensive guy, and he has a nice ensemble that he can put some points up and stay competitive when he play those teams with good defenses.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Fig, what do you think about Dallas Cowboys?
I think that Dallas would be better simply because if Dak can stay healthy and he comes back to what he was last year, I think just by reason of having him on the field and healthy makes Dallas a better football team. Stand pat, just as they were last year, because a team plays better when they have confidence in their leader. You know what I mean? Right. It's just a little something extra that they have. So am I saying they have the potential to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But I think they will be better just because they have their leader on the field, and he's considerably better than the quarterback that they had last year. As if he's healthy and he's, playing back to the way that he was before he got hurt last year.
Right. All right. Let me move on to the NBA because I want to ask you both this question. Right. I heard these guys talk about this morning in a debate about LeBron James. First, before I even move on, did both of you all see the injury on video? Did you see it, Talent? I know.
No, I didn't see it.
All right. LeBron's going for the ball. As he's going for the ball, the player, I forgot the player's name. He came in and he tried to. It seemed like, depending on how you look at it, it seemed like he was literally trying to go for the ball. But in order for me to make my next statement, it'd be better if you had seen the play. So
I saw it.
Okay, I know. I'm trying to explain it to Talent. The issue is that people were bringing up. They were like, "Was it intentional? Was it not intentional?" Everything else. I'll say this, and I'll start off with Fig, and I'm gonna ask Fig this because he saw the play. I don't think he intentionally tried to trip and hurt LeBron, but I do think he tried to trip him to make sure he was trying to get the ball and the possession was to go his way. So Fig, I'm gonna start off with, you see, while I'm asking Fig this, Talent, see if you can pull it up on your phone. Fig, what do you think? Do you think it was an intentional trip and he was trying to hurt him, or just an intentional trip? Fig, you tell me what you think first. Why Talent looks it up.
I don't think anything was intentional at all. The kid actually, if you look at it, he actually got his hand on the ball. Mm-hmm. So he dove on the ground for the ball. LeBron did not. And when LeBron grabbed the ball, he sort of turned his body and the kid fell into his leg and he sprained his ankle. Guys, I'm going to tell you something else. If this was somebody else, I don't even think we'd be talking about this. But the fact that it was LeBron James and he plays on the Lakers, now all of a sudden it's a big issue. This kid he's that type of player. He's that type of gritty player where his job is to go after loose balls, to play defense, to be scrappy and stuff like that. He went for a loose ball. LeBron James got a little bit injured, and he'll be fine. We'll see him in another week or two.
No, the thing is that we talk about it because LeBron got hurt. And LeBron got hurt. That's the big issue. So I think he tried to basically what's the word, bogart. I think he tried to bogart him out the way to get the ball. I don't think he tried to injure him at all. But I do think he was trying to do, when you play street ball, you do that bogart thing trying to do. I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm looking at it right now. Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
What do you think?
It's definitely not intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell by the injury given and the way you went after the ball. Like he went after the ball, and he also, the way he felt awkward, you can see the upper body went low. So, when you're trying to clip somebody, you're never going to do it with the upper body. That's a first dead giveaway. Secondly, you can see him going for the ball and flops, and he just falls in an awkward way to catch his ankle like that, twisted underneath. No, I'm looking right at it. There's no way that's intentional. Okay,
so you said there's no way. Fixes there's no way. I guess the thing is why first do you think that some of the NBA players first said, "Oh yes," and then they reeled back? Because to me, it's kind of hard to make that judgment so fast because it was a real fast play. It happened, It happened boom, boom.
It's boom. LeBron. It's LeBron, and we all know we got what we call D-Riders, and the D-Riders, the LeBron D-Riders, no matter what happened. If a butterfly came in the arena and LeBron did like this and twisted his wrist, they would hunt that butterfly down. The LeBron D-Riders will kill that butterfly. I don't care what kind it is. So the D-Riders, they're always going to think because he got hurt. This is basketball, yo. We watch people get these injuries every night out there. Somebody's going down if they're competing. If you're really competing, somebody's going to get tweaked. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get bruised. That's basketball. It's a contact sport.
Right. So, Fig, you want to add on to that?
Hey, man, I'm going to add a little color commentary, man. Some years ago, man, was at the Uptown. Well, first, let me just say this. When I first saw the play, I didn't see the actual injury. All I saw was LeBron, like, rolling like around on the ground. I just saw him like rolling. And I thought to myself, I was like, wow. I was like, what really happened? I'm looking, I'm looking for the police and stuff like that. I'm looking for security to come out on the court when I saw him rolling around, because I thought maybe it was a terrorist act. Because what happened is, like, years ago, I heard like some gunshots and we ran out, and it was this kid, and he was rolling on the ground because he had got shot. And when I saw LeBron James, it looked very similar to what I had seen years ago. And I was like, no. And then they showed the play again, and he had just got his ankle twisted, and he was rolling on the ground. And I was like, wow, LeBron James is really not used to being injured, because the first time you get injured for the first time, your reaction just seems, a little embellished upon. So I was like, wow, man, this guy's really rolling around. That's it. But I'm glad that he didn't get shot. It was just a twisted ankle. So
all right, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. Now that he's injured, he's supposed to be out for the next 3 weeks. Would it be right for him to be officially out of the MVP race because he won't be in the MVP race, because he won't play for the next 3 weeks? I'm gonna ask you this, talent, because some people are lobbying him for when he comes back to jump right back in the MVP race, because his age and what he's doing right now and trying to catch Kareem with the most points scored and all that other stuff. People want him to stay in the MVP race. So what do you think, talent? Should he stay? Should he be automatically out because he's out for 3 weeks?
I mean, I'm not gonna say automatically be out. I think if he comes back and he does some miraculous numbers, but right now you're going to be out. People are going to have a 3-week advantage on you. That's part of the game, though, man. This goes to show you how much the league has protected LeBron James for a very long time. That some little contact like this, he's not used to it. You know what I mean? And he probably really, really thinks in his heart of hearts that you don't have the right to foul him like that. You don't have the right to get that close to him where he gets hurt like that. You see him smack that chair on the way out of the arena to the back? Yeah. He smacked the chair over. That's all attitude and anger, not at himself, not at the game, at this person that, like, damn. He's thinking of all that. All the stuff we're talking about right now, he's thinking of that. Obviously, you are at a 3-week disadvantage if you're out 3 weeks. So all these other players that we're talking about, the Dame Lillards, you know what I mean, the Doncic, all these guys that are balling, the Greek Freak and the Embiids, they got 3 weeks on them, bro. He got to be out.
All right. Well, there could be an argument made, literally, because of his age and the level he's playing at his age, that he could stay in the MVP. There could be an argument.
No, what argument is that? That's not fair.
Okay. Why are you all up on the camera? Dude, dang, back up.
Man, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell you talking about, Frank. What's this got to do with age? Where did age factor into the MVP? When did that happen? Let me explain something to you. The same people that talk about LeBron James should still be in the MVP conversation are the exact same people that said because Joel Embiid got injured, he's out. Because Kevin Durant got injured, he's out of the conversation. But now because it's LeBron James, he's in the MVP conversation. How could that be and still be considered equal and fair voting for the MVP? They said Joel Embiid was out of the MVP race because he had missed quite a few games because of injury. Kevin Durant was out of the MVP race because he got injured and he missed quite a few games. Now LeBron James is injured and he's going to miss quite a few games, but we're going to put him back in the MVP race?
Like I said, those I don't necessarily agree with it. Listen, my whole thought process, you all know how I feel. I feel the MVP of the league should be the best person playing ball at the time. Not the best person playing on the team that's winning the best. I've been feeling like that since Jordan been playing, but maybe it's because Jordan changed my mind. But that's just, my thought. So I guess the question now is, since you both think he's officially out, I'm going to ask you guys this about the rookie of the year, because Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball were neck and neck for rookie of the year. LaMelo Ball got injured. He got injured yesterday. He's going to be gone for the whole season. You can say Same thing.
Same thing applies, man. It's part of the game. Injuries are a part of the game. You know what I mean? Now, here's my thing. Not to jinx anybody, knock on wood, but let's say something happened to Edwards where he's out the rest of the season, then we judge it from that point, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's part of the game. Edwards continues to be consistent, finish out the thing. Then you got this far to compare to a full season. Edwards probably going to take it away.
Okay. Fig, what you think?
I'm in 100% agreement with Talent, man. I mean, listen, even before LaMelo Ball went out with this injury, I think he broke his hand or something like that or whatever, but Anthony Edwards was right up there with him. I mean, people started talking about like, yo, man, I mean, like LaMelo Ball is not running away with this thing, man. We got to consider this kid Edwards because he's balling out. I mean, he's doing the damn thing. He's making noise. You know what I mean? He is really playing at a high level. Now Ball is out. Pause. Now LaMelo is out. We got to talk about Edwards because this young kid is playing at a high level. He's still playing, and LaMelo is injured. So it's the same.
Now the Ball's out.
And you know what? Y'all started off really early on Monday. This is something else for Monday. It's something else for Monday. All right, let me ask you guys this. The Rockets now have lost 20 straight. 20 straight. It's pretty bad for the Houston Rockets. It's pretty bad for their coach. Should the Houston Rockets bring back young Silas as the coach? Because we talked about this last week, but now he's getting ready. The way the team is on right now, they're getting ready to. They're only 6 or 7 games short for breaking the NBA record for the most consecutive losses. So I'm gonna ask you, Talent, what's your thought process in bringing back Coach Silas?
Man, I don't know. I don't care who you bring back right now. Barring walking on water with Jesus is a wrap. I say they rent a real rocket and shoot these guys to the moon and start over. You know what I'm saying? Forget COVID. You know how you talk about NCAA missing games because of COVID. It don't mean you got to tear this thing down and rebuild it. They let it get too far to him. You know what I mean? I would love to see Silas back, no question, but it's still far from being fixed. Now you're back to the Houston team that we've seen right before they acquired James Harden. We're kind of like back in those days now. So it's not just Silas you can bring back, man. You need a whole heap of work and pieces out there.
Yeah, but you could say that James Harden leaving and giving it kind of really destroyed the chemistry of the team.
It was a domino effect.
Domino effect. It really messed them all up. What you think, Fig?
You know, the funny thing I would ask myself rhetorically, which coach could do better under the same circumstances? And if your answer is nobody, then you bring Silas back because he got there. You know, it's like somebody hired you as the captain of the ship, but the ship is sinking when you get hired. And then you on the ship and you trying to save the ship from sinking and the ship sinks anyway. And they blame you. It's like, yo, man, I just got here. You know what I mean? What kind of effort are the players giving you and they really don't want to be there? They lost their leader in James Harden. Right. They lost all of the players that played along. Now the last piece, I think they're trying to or would trade it. Maybe he's gone or he's just about to be gone. Tucker. I mean, like, how as a new coach do you implement your system? You galvanize your team when you don't know who's going to be there from one day to the next. I mean, these players talk to each other. They're all friends. You know, they talk and so, man, I want to. The morale of the team has to be crushed. And there's nothing that a coach could do to get it back. Not this year. You got to start all over again. There's no way that is his fault. No way. There's nothing you could do about it. I would blame the GM. Because the coach is not making personnel decisions.
You would blame General Motors?
The general manager.
Let me ask you, Talent, let me ask you this, man. If you're the GM of the Houston Rockets and you're sitting out there looking at the roster you have right now, before I even ask you, let me just say this is what I would do. what I would do is I would trade my most valuable piece that I have on the team and try to see if I could get as many draft picks and implode and start again. Because right now, like Fig said, the morale's gone. The players who were there have been there, been losing. I don't know what I would do, except the only thing I'd be like, you know what? I have to just got to bring a whole bunch of new players in and start from scratch. Can you imagine being Victor Oladipo who got traded to that? You know, I mean, it's ugly. What you think, Talent?
I mean, I think that you are absolutely right. That is what you have to do. You have to start from scratch, like I said. So starting from scratch, the best thing to do was take your most important players you've got. I think they got two. They got two high-powered players that people really, really want, right? And you kind of semi-clean house, you get your draft picks in order, and you start. Get some young legs in there and ambitious players and somebody who wants to make a name for themselves and in the draft, and you just take off. It's okay that this is my thing, man. I'm tired of these microwave days. Everybody want to put it in the microwave, press 2 minutes and eat. No, it's okay to stir up collard greens, to do real mashed potatoes, to shuck some corn, not out of the can. Take your time to make a real meal. It's okay.
That's the analogy for the day. Fig,
man, let me tell you something. Shuck that corn. Shuck them. That's what I say. Shuck them. Shuck that corn. Yeah, listen. You know why I blame it on the general manager? I'm going to tell you why. We got rid of Siakam.
Yeah.
We got rid of Paul. We got rid of Westbrook. We got rid of Harden. They're getting rid of Oladipo. I mean, wait a minute. This is all before Silas. This is all before Silas got there. How are we going to blame the new guy for the stuff that happened before he got there? That was just like what Trump was doing with Barack Obama. They was blaming Barack Obama for stuff that happened before he even got there. They blamed Barack Obama for the World Trade Center. He was like, yo, I wasn't even here. I wasn't here. How you blaming me? I wasn't here. He said, I was doing something else. Me and Michelle, we was community organizing in 2001 when that happened. How you blaming me for the World Trade Center? That's not my fault. How you gonna blame Silas for stuff that happened before he got there?
In other news, Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets had some moves. They made some moves. But then this just dropped this morning because Brooklyn Nets made some moves. Blake Griffin debuted yesterday, but then this news just dropped that Kyrie Irving will not travel with the team for the next 3-game road trip because he's attending to a family matter. So now James Harden's going to only be the star of the team on the next 3-game road matter. Now we all know how the Brooklyn Nets was going to be assembled, how the team was going to be put together. So Talent, I don't know. I'm just asking you what your thoughts are. I'm telling you, I don't like this new NBA with the team. I got a family issue. I got a family matter. I don't like these things, man. I'm old school. I don't like.
I get it, Frank, and I'm the same as you. But again, these are the exceptions to the rule because of COVID. Yeah. All I got to do is, what are you going to say to somebody who has an elderly family member that gets COVID? You're going to tell them they can't go handle family business? This is different. We are no longer in our normal times. And with even though I don't like a lot of the changes that have nothing to do with COVID, when it comes to COVID, we are forced to say, I understand. I'm on the phone every day with somebody who can't afford to pay full price for comedy. What am I saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good analogy. But in 2021, Talent, I'm going to say this. It seems like the NBA has changed to a whole different type of league than what I grew up in, what I'm used to. There's so much.
I don't condone most of it, but if it's COVID related, because sometimes they give us less information than anything. They should say family emergency or something like that. I'm just assuming that if you're missing 3 road games and it's a family emergency, it's something that bad. That you must attend to. It's damn sure better not be another baby shower.
I was about to say, you with another NBA player, you could say that for sure. But with Kyrie Irving, you got to go, I don't know what the situation could be. I don't know. Fig, what's your thoughts?
Well, because it's Kyrie and his reputation, it raises eyebrows to say the least. I'd like to know what the family emergency is. You know, if it's COVID related or something like that, or a close family member. Then you know, you give it a pass. But like you said, I'm old school, and who
I
really
already know what it is.
you
I
know,
already
who
know
really knows why Kyrie is not going to be able to travel with the team. But I'll tell you this: if it has anything to do with anything like Sweet Lou Williams down there in Atlanta going to Magic City and getting some of them wings, this is what I got to say to Kyrie Irving. Shuck him! Shuck Kyrie Irving. That's what I say. Shuck him just like a piece of corn.
Just so you know, it's not COVID related. I just got it on my tablet right here. He's doing a retreat, a yoga retreat with Russell Simmons.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so that's fine.
By all means.
That's fine.
That's important. Because when Russell calls, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Blake Griffin made his debut yesterday too with the Brooklyn Nets, and first time people got a chance to see him dunk in a game in a couple of years. Brooklyn Nets does look like they could be doing something, but they all got to stay together. They all got to play together. They got to move forward with this. I'm thinking right now that Blake Griffin was an excellent addition to the team. So I'm pretty happy for all the Nets fans who've been so used to losing for such a long time. Talon, this has got to be some good news for you if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan. What'd you say, Talon?
I mean, Brooklyn Nets have been happy even before Kevin Durant came back. Once they signed, you couldn't tell nobody in Brooklyn nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to them, see them all the time. You couldn't tell them nothing. You know, God forbid I got my Knick hat on or a Knick sweater or a jersey or something. They going ham with their Brooklynness. That's cool. I said the same thing last week, Frank. Yeah, you on paper, you got what it takes. But in reality, we have yet to see everybody play together.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, because on paper, there's been a lot of teams over the years who look good, like the Lakers when they added Gary Payton and Karl Malone. On paper, I was like, "Woo, they're gonna be tough to beat." They didn't win one thing with that whole roster.
But I think Portland's dream team was better than that. Remember that team?
That's true. Yeah, that's true too. Portland dream team on paper look, with Scottie Pippen and those boys, they look,
They had everybody from Deadlift to Sean Kemp to Sabonis. It was crazy. Stoudemire.
Yeah, and they didn't even make it to the NBA Finals. So yeah, that's true. That's true. What you think, Vic?
Hey man, first off, Brooklyn born and raised, Brooklyn for life, 100. I'm a Knicks fan, man. You know what I mean? Knicks still. I bleed that orange, blue, little bit of white in there, man. I'm still Knicks 100. But here's the thing. I'll take it even. I'll bring it up to date. Last year with the Clippers. People thought the Clippers was going to make a decent run with, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. They had seemingly the team to beat in the West. They never even made it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't believe that you can turn it on like that and get chemistry until you play together. These guys have not played. I don't even think they played a string of 10 games together since the team has been assembled between Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, bringing in James Harden. I mean, they haven't played 10 games together, and it's very difficult to create on-court chemistry, especially in a playoff type situation when the pressure is on. It's going to be very difficult for them guys to galvanize and be able to beat a team, a well-oiled team, playing defense and scoring and stuff like that, where this team is on a string. It's going to be very difficult for them to do that, man. So you got to see.
In other news, I heard coming out of Toronto. Remember I was telling you guys about Kyle Lowry going to the Sixers? Looks like Toronto. The word is now coming out of Toronto. There's a 75% chance the Raptors are going to trade Norman Powell from the Raptors and Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell to who knows where, and Kyle Lowry to the Sixers before Thursday. So that might definitely happen really quickly, depending on if they can work out the money and work out the trade deadline. I think that makes the Sixers probably the one speed bump to the Brooklyn Nets in the East. You know what I mean? To get to the final. Because if you put Kyle Lowry on the Sixers team right now, and the Sixers team are already playing amazing basketball talent, I'm thinking that they could be the one. I ain't going to say they're going to beat the Brooklyn Nets, but they're going to be definitely the ones who could be that speed bump for them before they make it to the finals without everybody saying, yeah, they're going to make it. They're going to make it. You know what I mean? Kyle Lowry's addition could be really vital to the Sixers.
I think they might be able to beat them, Frank.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think with the additive Kyle Lowry leading that team changes a lot as far as leadership goes and floor general. And then what that does is all those potent players that they already have, it frees them up to go separate and do their thing. If you got Kyle Lowry handling the rock and setting everything up, you get a lot more free movement and off the ball movement. And he don't get it twisted. He finds his own shot as well. He break people down. So that's they might be neck and neck again. Brooklyn has yet to prove anything to us.
Right.
They have yet to suit everybody up at the same time consistently, and we go, okay, that's a good team. We just reading off paper.
Right. Exactly. But Lowry to Philadelphia can do something. I'm just not sure if he's going to be the guy who could literally help them get over the hump over the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know. What do you think?
I like it, bro.
Man, I'll tell you like this. I'll tell you this. The Knicks had them on the ropes last night, and we were one call away from beating Philly last night. So they better get Kyle Lowry. They better get somebody, because the way Tom Thibodeau got the Knicks playing, they coming. And if they play, if Philly play the Nets the way they played the Knicks last night, they're going to get their behind handed to them. Now, let me give it a caveat. Joel Embiid was not there. But they should have been able to beat the Knicks handily. If you go into the playoffs and you expect to contend for the Eastern Conference Championship, you need to be better than that, even with Joel Embiid not there, because they had everybody else.
Well, you know what's happening with the New York Knicks from the games I've seen is people are walking into the arena thinking that they're going to beat the Knicks because it's the Knicks. People are forgetting that the Knicks are playing better basketball than they've played in years. They're playing better defense and they're playing scrappy. So Joel Embiid, you can sit down in this game. It's just the Knicks. Oh, damn, we barely beat the Knicks. Oh, yeah. The Sixers found that out. The Brooklyn Nets found that out. The Celtics. You go down the list of all the teams in the East. The Knicks right now are the scrappiest team. They are the team you do not want to play in the playoffs when the playoffs come around. I'm just being honest. Go ahead, Fig.
I'll just say this, Frank. I would take that as I do believe that is the case sometimes, but this is the second time in a week that Philly played the Knicks. We barely lost. We was one call away from losing the first game, and then we played them again. This is the second game in a week. And we still only lost by one. So they if they're contending, they should have beat us, because clearly.
No, I agree with everything you're saying, Fig. All I'm saying is teams are walking in there saying, even if they have one tough game, they're like, it's still the Knicks. We just played a bad game. When we come back again, we should beat them handily. Basically what I'm trying to say, everybody in the league is overlooking the Knicks. Everybody. People's forgetting that they're the 1, 2, or 3 top playing teams playing defense in the league. Bro, how are you going to overlook? I don't know. It's the Knicks. But it's the Knicks. They brought excitement back to the NBA, though. I will give them that. They brought excitement. And I will say, finally,
Thank you.
You do not want to play the Knicks when you come down to the playoffs, because they could upset somebody and imagine this. Imagine, like we said last week, imagine if it's Brooklyn versus New York in the playoffs first round. Imagine that. That's where we're headed. And the Knicks ain't getting swept, bro. They ain't getting swept. You know what I mean? They ain't getting swept. But anyway, y'all, that's the show. We're a little over. Challenge everybody out there how they can follow us.
Hey, follow your boy, man. Twitter, It's Just Comedy. Facebook, King Talon Harris. Instagram, Talon the Comedian. 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday, right here. Box seats.
There you go. Fig, tell everybody how they follow us.
Man, you better recognize you can follow your boy on all social media platforms right there at Comedian Fig, baby. Sometimes I be hanging out with that dude. But Monday through Friday, bam! I'm here on the box seat, 1 to 2 p.m. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best damn sports show on TV. I said it.
All right, okay. Y'all, that's the show. They both told you what time it is. It's on the channel called The Humor Mill. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. But don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna leave y'all out here thinking I'm not a Celtics fan. I'm a Celtics fan, so I don't, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'm just calling the way I see it. You know what I mean? It's the way I see it.
Good luck, little Shamrock.
It's not gonna happen this year. I gotta keep it real. Y'all, we'll be back tomorrow. hopefully the Celtics can turn it around the next couple of weeks. That way I can rub it in people's face, but it don't look like it's gonna happen. Anyway, y'all, we'll see y'all. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace.
I'm looking.